What's up, my Central Units? It's the Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. Once again, it's Survivor Series season for the month of November. So this month, I'm going to review some classic Survivor Series show. So today I'm reviewing Survivor Series 1991 at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan on the 27th of November 1991. The attendance for the show was 17,500. This show received about 300,000 pay-per-view buys. A downgrade than the 1990 Survivor Series show. I covered that show last year on this channel. Go and check it out. That show received about 400,000 pay-per-view buys because that show was memorable for the debut of The Undertaker. So fast forward 1 year later, he's facing one of the biggest stars of the World Wrestling Federation at the time, Hulk Hogan, for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. We'll get to that match later on in this review. So, and this is the first Survivor Series at the Joe Louis Arena. First of three. The next one will be in 1999 in the Attitude Era. That was memorable for, the debut of Kurt Angle and Steve Austin getting run over. And the third one will be in 2005 in the Ruthless Aggression Era. That's another story for another time. They might return to the Joe Louis Arena in the future, but never say never. Anyway, so the commentators for the show are Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I think that this is one of their final, they're not left the company, but this is one of their final pay-per-views together as a commentator because Gorilla Monsoon stepped down as a commentator, I think he become like an authority figure for the rest of his career before his death in 1999. I think that spot was like filling for Vince McMahon and Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. You get my drift. So anyway, before we get to the matches on the show, the biggest, I don't really call it a biggest, it's one of the biggest storylines in 1991 for the Federation is the feud between Randy Savage and Jake the Snake Roberts. So originally it was supposed to be, the original opponent for Jake the Snake Roberts is the Ultimate Warrior because I think it was on, I don't know what episode, I think it was probably on Main Event or I want to say Superstars, but on an episode of Superstars, you had Warrior, I think it was kind of like a mini feud between Roberts and The Undertaker. You had, Roberts Snake bit the Warrior, and, I think they probably fought at house shows, but instead Warrior left the company that year, that summer, due to pay disputes. He came back in WrestleMania 8, and then he left in 1992, come back in 96. It's over money. So yeah, Randy Savage was basically filling in for the Ultimate Warrior. So yeah, he married Miss Elizabeth in kayfabe. I think they were already married at that time. And you had Jake the Snake Cobra kind of like got into one of the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth's gifts, and then on the Go Home show, I think it was called Survivor Series Showdown, I think. You can find it on YouTube. You had Jake the Snake Roberts basically attack Randy Savage, tie his arms up near the ropes, and his snake, I think it was a cobra or something, bit the arm of the Macho Man. It was it's venom. No, it's D-Van. Sorry, remove the venom because they're not actually going to kill Randy Savage on TV. It's kayfabe. So Jack Tunney basically I think originally they were supposed to be in the Survivor Series match later on the show. Unfortunately, I think they removed them because they ended up fighting at Tuesday night at Texas. That'll be 1 week later. That's another story for another time. We don't want to get into it. So, and also Jack Tunney was at the time the kayfabe president for the World Wrestling Federation. Reinstated Randy Savage. The reason why he reinstated Randy Savage because he wrestled his final match. He lost the career match against the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. He had him and Miss Elizabeth reunited, got married, and the whole stuff with Jake the Snake Roberts. So I'll get to the promo segments. I'm trying to get things out of the way first before we get to the actual matches on the show. So basically, Randy Savage came out talking about him and Miji, talking about the situation with him getting bitten by the snake. said I can't hear, I can't see. The only thing I can hear and see is Elizabeth crying, and the only biggest snake out there is you, Jake the Snake Roberts. They said that at Tuesday Night Texas, the plug in that show said, "I'm gonna put madness on." Was it putting the madness on you like melted butter? And then minutes later, and then Jake the Snake Roberts basically says, I'm excited a little bit, I was thinking about it for a long time, and you can tell, like, in the interview segment between Mean Gene Oakland and Jake Roberts, you can tell, like, Mean Gene is kind of, like, sticking on him. You don't get that in today's pro wrestling with the interviewer interviewing, confronting the heel wrestlers. You don't see that in today's pro wrestling. I like Mean Gene Oakland, he does that, he's a legend, Mean Gene. Anyway, so it said, like, you cast anger between Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, and Jake the Snake Roberts says, hate people are crushing me, everyone, people need to point the finger on someone else except me. I'm trying to remember the promo that well. He said I'm the true snake all along. That's just a toy for my amusement. Sorry, but anyway, so he ended like, this is not the beginning, it's not the end, it's not the beginning of the end, it's the end of the beginning. So yeah, it's just set up their match at Tuesday Night Texas. Sorry about the promo. It's very hard to remember it because I got a bit of a learning difficulties. Sometimes I don't remember that promo that well. Remember Macho Man Randy Savage's promo, but Jake the Snake Roberts, only a bit, Yeah, he was kind of smiling. Yeah, and Mean Gene called him, "You're a sick man, Jake the Snake Roberts," and Jake Roberts says, "Oh, thank you." He just didn't really give a shit, Very underrated heel, Jake the Snake Roberts. I think he's better off as a heel than a babyface. That's my opinion. So, anyway, let's move on to the actual matches. Let's read the dark match for the show. The dark match, you had Chris Chavis. Chris Chavis, who's better known. It would be the future Tatanka, by the way. Yeah, the future Tatanka defeated Kato. I think Kato was one half of the Orient Express, with Pat Tanaka and Mr. Fuji. So the first match to kick off the show, we got the first Survivor Series match of the night. A 4-on-4 Survivor Series match. We got Team Flair versus Team Piper, representing Team Flair. We got Ric Flair, the Mountie, the $1 million man Ted DiBiase Sr., and the Warlord, not Wardlow, MJF's bodyguard from AEW. The Warlord, with Mr. Fuji and Jimmy Hart and Sensational Sherry in the corners of Team Flair. I don't know, Mr. Perfect. I think Jimmy Hart was managing. I think he was managing probably Warlord. I don't know. This is before my time, but anyway, and also Harvey Whippleman. Today, fucking managers. Anyway, so representing Team Piper, we got Roddy Piper, the Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart. I think Virgil was the $1 million champion, and the British Bulldog. So anyway, there's a reason why they're fighting, So basically, Ric Flair, this is Ric Flair's first pay-per-view appearance for the World Wrestling Federation, pay-per-view match actually, because he left WCW that summer. Basically, he got fired because him and Jim Herd butt heads. Took the WCW World title with him because he originally was supposed to be dropping the belt to Luger at the Great American Bash that summer. Left the company, took the belt with him. So the WWF did a storyline, did the whole real world champion storyline, as Ric Flair is the world champ. I think it was kind of like in a bull feud between Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. It's not last time we see Flair on the show. Anyway, so. Virgil and DiBiase. By the way, DiBiase was the $1 million champion because Virgil was the $1 million champion at SummerSlam, but he dropped it on the Go Home show to that show. He ended up dropping it on Survivor Series Showdown. Sorry, and it took place on the 11th of November. So basically, it took place about nearly 16, really almost 2 weeks later. I'm trying to get my facts right, but anyway, it goes, Virgil and $1 million man DiBiase were trade back and forth with the title. Virgil was basically DiBiase's lackey, his servant, but he turned on him, and won the, he was under Roddy Piper's mentor and won the million dollar championship at SummerSlam, and he dropped it at Survivor Series Showdown. Anyway, yeah, and Flair and Piper were feuding. I don't think they had a one-on-one match. Maybe they fought at house shows. They fought years later in WCW. Bret was the Intercontinental Champion. Really, 1991 was Bret Hart's rise because he broke up his tag team. He broke up the Hart Foundation with him and Neidhart, and then he had a really good 1991. He won the King of the Ring tournament, and he won the Intercontinental title. He had, I think he had one of the best Survivors, not Survivor Series, best. I think it's one of the best Survivors. Keep saying Survivor Series. One of the best SummerSlam matches of all time with Mr. Pivot of that year's SummerSlam. And he's, at the time, feuding with the Mountie. The Mountie, I think it's one of the Russo brothers, I think. I'm on Wikipedia right now, but, check it right now. The Mountie. It's one of the, Jacques Russo, he's, Jacques Russo is the Mountie, Him and Bret, he was feuding with Bret with the IC title, and Bulldog was feuding with the Warlord. So, anyway, so the match, I think this is match of the night for me, because the show never got better ever since. Anyway, so it was a good match. The ending was a bit very weird. We'll get to that shortly. Bulldog was the first person got eliminated by Ric Flair. It's very sad though. Some of these wrestlers on this show, it's sadly in the next couple of years, in the next couple of decades, we never see ever again. Bulldog died in 2002. Bulldog, Wardlow, Piper, and basically some of these matches on the show we'll never see ever again. It's sad, because pro wrestling has the high rate of deaths. Anyway, so Bulldog got eliminated by Ric Flair. The Warlord got eliminated by Roddy Piper. He's trying to lock in the full Nelson lock onto Virgil, and I think Piper cheap shot. I think he hit a move off the top rope onto Wardlow. Keep saying the Warlord to eliminate him. It's confusing. I say Wardlow, MGF's bodyguard, but I meant to say the Warlord. Anyway, so the ending was a bit confusing. It basically had DiBiase, Bret, Mountie, Piper end up brawling outside. That led to the disqualification, and Ric Flair was the sole survivor in that Survivor Series match. So yeah, it was a good match. I really liked it. It was good storytelling, but the ending was really ruined it for me. You can tell they're putting the eggs onto the Ric Flair basket because he just came from WCW. He was one of WCW's biggest stars at the time, and yeah, it's not the last time we see the Nature Boy Ric Flair on this show. So the next Survivor Series match, we got I'm guessing we got Team Slaughter taking on Team Mustafa. So representing not team, but we got representing Team Slaughter. I'm trying to say we got Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Texas Tornado, that is Kerry Von Erich, and Al Matador, that is Tito Santana, taking on Colonel Mustafa. That is, aka it's the Iron Sheik, former World Wrestling Federation champion. The Berserker, that's John Noyd. Skinner, that's Frank, what's his name, Steve Kern. He become the future Doink the Clown. I think he's the third Doink. The first Doink is Matt Bourne. The second Doink was Ray Apollo. So I'm guessing he's the third or fourth Doink. And Hercules with Mr. Fuji and General Adnan in the corner of Team Mustafa. That's the Iron Sheik. So basically, Jim Duggan is good old USA once again, because in this really 1 year ago, going into the whole of I think it's late 1990, the whole of 91, he was the Iraqi sympathizer, defeated the Ultimate Warrior at the Royal Rumble to become the World Wrestling Federation champion. He main event that year's WrestleMania against Hulk Hogan, dropped the world title, in Los Angeles against Hogan. in the main event, and then he feuded with Hogan the next couple months. They fought at SummerSlam. It was with Colonel Mustafa and Slaughter taking on Hogan and Warrior. And then Warrior left the company due to pay disputes. And then I think Slaughter did a promo, says I want my country back, and he's good old USA Sergeant Slaughter. It makes no sense. I think some people have a mixed bag opinion about Sergeant Slaughter as the heel. I see over the years, I think it's a very underrated heel turn for Sergeant Slaughter. He kind of made that character work because he's a Iraqi sympathizer. He betrayed betrayed the red, white, and blue, and become, and represent Iraq, and become the top heel of the company. Defeat Ultimate Warrior, feuding with the biggest star of the company at the time, Hulk Hogan, at that year's WrestleMania in Los Angeles. It was a big deal. And then after that, I don't think they dropped the ball with him. I think I think it ran its course and they have to moved on. So, and also you could tell he got the good pop on this, not on the show, but he got really good reaction in this match alongside Jim Duggan. Did the whole, I think they were as a tag team at this moment in time. And anyway, so I'm trying to keep it short and simple. I'm rambling at this moment in time. It was just a clean sweep for the baby faces, because the Berserker, that was a crappy gimmick. He's this Viking. Skinner, I think he's kind of like this hunter, redneck type character. Hector Hernandez, he's this buff dude. No disrespect of the buff dudes on YouTube. That's Brandon and Hudson, but he's the Jack dude. But I think some of these wrestlers end up leaving the company in the next couple of years. And sadly for Kerry Von Erich, he died in the next couple of years. I heard about the deaths of the Von Erichs. It's just sad. So anyway, it's just nothing really special about this match. It was one of the weakest Survivor Series match on this show. It's just like, Duggan and Slaughter was over. Taking on the heels. Iron Sheik was past his best. It's just whatever. So yeah, Slaughter, Duggan, Texas Tornado, and El Matador, Taylor Santana got the win. And yeah, they never got pinned. They just pinned the heels. That's it. So moving on to, this is the first singles match in Survivor Series history, because this is the fifth Survivor Series in WWF history, because the first one was in 1987. Another show I covered it last year on this channel. Go check it out. So yeah, we got Hulk Hogan defending the World Wrestling Federation Championship against The Undertaker. Like I said, Undertaker debuted at the previous year's Survivor Series. Was part of the $1 Million team against the Dream Team. Eliminate 4 guys in that Survivor Series match. He got counted out. It's just whatever. So Undertaker was undefeated, but in reality, I think he lost in house shows. I think he lost to the Ultimate Warrior in a body bag match. I don't want to get into it, because I did reviewed Undertaker's Deadliest Matches. So it defeat Jimmy Snuka to kick off the legendary streak. I think there was a segment when Undertaker and Flair beating down Hogan in the Funeral Parlor segment. If you want, just type in the Funeral Parlor segment, you see it is, it's hosted by Paul Bearer. Anyway, so really they try really putting the rocket on the back of the Undertaker. It's really for trying to set up, because you can call him the big heel at the time because undefeated. But yeah, Roberts, you got, I don't know. I think Taker was really groomed, to be. You have to be an effing genius. You got to build new stars, because the next couple of years, Hogan, Savage, most of the guys will compete in the WWF, end up leaving to go to WCW to kick off the Monday Night War. So anyway, boy, this match between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, this is the worst match of the show. It's fucking boring. The previous, like I said, I didn't already say it, but the last match was boring. The Sergeant Team Slaughter taking on Team Colonel Mustafa. This match was also boring. In the early years of The Undertaker, his movesets, he's basically built like this horror zombie, slow-paced monster. You won't see the athletic side of The Undertaker later on in the 1990s and beyond. Hogan was known for his character. He's not really, never been great in the ring, Hogan. He just does the points, the big boots, the leg drop. That's it. No chemistry. I was completely zoned out. Very, very zoned out of this match. Very bored. I was completely bored. And they made Undertaker like a chump. You know, relying on Ric Flair, who showed up, and then Paul Bearer helping him. Oh yeah, Taker hit not one but two Tombstone Piledrivers. The first one Hogan did not sell, and then Flair placed the chair in the ring. Taker hit Hogan with another Tombstone Piledriver to win this match and become the new World Wrestling Federation champion. Yeah, it's just really, yeah, there's been a reason why it really tarnished Undertaker's first title reign. I heard like in Hulk Hogan's book, and also he had like suits and ties and referees and medical team like checking on Hogan, giving him medical attention because he's selling it like he broke his fucking neck. It's like, I feel like it's years before Austin broke his neck in the hands of Owen Hart at SummerSlam '97, and Chyna, you know, with her neck in 2001. Yeah, I heard on not Undertaker's book, but in Hogan's book, that he blamed this on The Undertaker. Basically, he said Undertaker botched the Tombstone Piledriver. That's a crock of shit, because Undertaker hit a perfect Tombstone Piledriver. Basically, and also they fight a week later at Tuesday Night, Texas. That's a crock of shit. It's basically Hogan being a dick, playing his political card on Taker. He basically doesn't want to do the job over The Undertaker. Yeah, he put him over The Undertaker on the show, but I don't think he really wants to beat The Undertaker. He doesn't want to put over The Undertaker. He beat The Undertaker at Tuesday Night, Texas. What the fuck is that? It's just basically, this is something like John Cena will blush right now, will laugh. He said that he injured his neck, well, that's a crock of shit. You can tell Hogan was oversaturating, he's overreacting. You will find you just basically stun your neck, and I think Undertaker and Hogan, I think Taker just do not like Hogan. I think he hates CM Punk, but that's another story for another time. So like I said, Hogan win back the title against Undertaker 1 week later at Tuesday Night, Texas. Once again by the help by Ric Flair, and then Jack Tunney, the WWF president, stripped the belt, and then at the Royal Rumble in January, they did, and this is for the World Wrestling Federation. Flair ended up winning that year's Royal Rumble and become the new World Wrestling Federation champion. And he dropped it to Savage, won the title back, and then dropped it to Brett, and then he left and go back to WCW. It just really tarnished Undertaker's first run. It was barely a run because he only lasted a week, and he won't win the title again until WrestleMania in 1997. It's just what it is. So it was a boring match. They had 3 bad matches in their careers. They fought this show, Tuesday Night, Texas, and then 9 years later at Judgment Day in a strap match. Jesus Christ, man. So moving on to the next match. So yeah, self-proclaimed broke his neck in the hands of The Undertaker because he botched a Tombstone Piledriver. Fuck off, Hogan. He didn't. So anyway, so moving on to the final 2 matches on the show. We got another 4-on-4 Survivor Series match. So we got the Nasty Boys. That is Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, and the Beverly Brothers. That is Blake and Bo taking on the Rockers. That is Shawn Michaels and Mike Janae. And the Bushwhackers. That is Luke and Butch. I take this match as a second place. Second best match of the night. The Bushwhackers got eliminated. Thank God. Why they put the Bushwhackers in this match, I don't know. We don't care. But anyway, so after the Bushwhackers got eliminated, the match starting to get good. You got like the Rockers, the Beverly Brothers are very underrated in my opinion. They're really a good tag team. I like the Nasty Boys. They're also good workers as well. But the match kind of picked up after the Bushwhackers got eliminated. So it's more focused on the breakup between the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Mai Janae. So Shawn, basically Mai was going to pick up, I think it was Jerry Saggs, and yeah, he accidentally knocked Shawn Michaels over, and then and Brian Knobbs pinned Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn and Marty end up like arguing, and then and and then Shawn, yeah, this was, I'll get to the aftermath shortly. So in the end, yeah, Brian Knobbs, Jerry Saggs, and Blake Beverly won this match. So yeah, I felt like Mai become the sole survivor, but instead the heels got the win. So it's funny that for the two so far in on this show, we got two heels won their Survivor Series matches. Ric Flair was the sole survivor in the opener. Yeah, the babyface, that's Duggan, Slaughter, Kerry Von Erich, and Tito Santana was the only babyfaces won that match. And then the heels really dominate this Survivor Series, winning their matches. Anyway, so as for the Rockers, this was the beginning of the end, because I think in January of '92, Shawn Michaels turned on Marty Jannetty. Yeah, they kind of self-proclaimed, put their differences aside, on the same page, and then Shawn turned on Marty Jannetty, super kicked him, and then thrown him into the barbershop mirror. This was a barbershop segment. And then Shawn Michaels became the Heartbreak Kid, become one of the biggest stars in the '90s, and become the WWE's biggest stars. Shawn's kind of like one of the Mount Rushmores of the WWE, alongside, you can say, Hogan, Austin, Rock, Taker, Brett. It's debatable, but he's become one of the biggest stars of WWE's biggest star of all time. After that, so moving on to the main event. The main event, we got this is a 3-on-3 Survivor Series match, not a typical 4-on-4. We got Team Bossman taking on Team IRS, I think I call it. Represent Team Bossman. We got the Big Bossman. He got that good pop. The Legion of Doom, that is Hawk and Animal. The Road Warriors. Represent Team IRS. We got IRS, Erwin R. Shyster, IRS, and the Natural Disasters, that is Earthquake and Typhoon. I think Typhoon is the future Shock. That's Fred Ottman, the future Shockmaster. I'm sorry, I almost say Future Shock, but he's the future Shockmaster in WCW. He tripped over on his debut. That's another story for another time. Yeah, originally it was supposed to be a 4-on-4 match. Originally, Sid Justice, he was supposed to be in the Big Boss Man's team. Unfortunately, he suffered an elbow injury, so he got replaced. And then I think Macho Man Randy Savage, he's basically campaigning to be taking over Sid to join Big Boss Man's Survivor Series team. Roberts was supposed to be in IRS team, but instead they kind of pulled him. They pulled both Macho Man and Randy's Jake Roberts. I'm stumbling, by the way. They pulled both men out of that match, to set up their match at Tuesday night in Texas. So it's a typical 3-on-3 Survivor Series match. Anyway, so I'm sorry I'm stumbling. I need a drink of water, man. Very good. So anyway, this is, I place it down the middle. I think it was a good match. It was a decent match. Nothing special. It's funny that the Undertaker Hulk Hogan match, I thought it was the main event, by the way. I thought that was the main event, because it's they're the headline poster for the show, and it's not in the main event. I think it's for the best, man. That would be the worst Survivor Series match of all time. So anyway, yeah, the match was, like I said, an okay match. Yeah, it's just a standard match, nothing special, but yeah, I place it down the middle. It's better than the second Survivor Series match. That was just But anyway, the first person got eliminated was the Big Boss Man. He got hit by RS's briefcase. By the way, he cut a promo on Detroit. I think they call them like tax cheats. It's like IRS. He's the father of Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. Anyway, IRS hits Boss Man with the briefcase without noticing, and then he was going to hit I think it was Hawk or Animal with the briefcase, but instead he accidentally hit Typhoon. You know, that's the future Shotmaster in WCW. And then he got eliminated by Hawk, and then Earthquake got pissed off. He got pissed off. He basically, him and Typhoon left the ring, and Earthquake got counted out. It's just whatever. I'm not gonna be mad of it. You know, this is in 1991. We're in 2021. 30 years later, almost 30 years later. It'll be next week marks the 30th anniversary of this show. Anyway, so yeah, Hawk and Animal are the sole survivors of that team. I think Hawk hit a flying clothesline onto IRS for the win, and that was it. That was it. That was the end of Survivor Series 1991. So it's just what it is. Because Hawk and Animal were over, they were trying LOD, you know. And by the way, as for the national disasters, you know, they end up becoming babyface tag team. They end up becoming the WWF Tag Team Champions, you know, in 1992. That really killed. That babyface turn kind of killed off their careers. Same as I don't say same as, but when I talk about the Bushwhackers, you know, in the early Survivor Series match, when I review my Night of Clash of the Champions shows last year, you know, in those 88, 89 marks, no, mostly 88 shows, it's sad that in the NWA/WCW they were a serious tag team. When they went to the World Wrestling Federation, yeah, I understand that WWF was a kid-friendly product. It's just what it is, you know. But anyway, so I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying, you know, it's just like it's just a standard Survivor Series match, nothing special. It's just like filling matches on the card. So anyway, so my final rating for Survivor Series 1991, I give it a 4 out of 10. I thought it's gonna be the worst Survivor Series Survivor Series show of all time. I'm being honest, still a bad show, but you know, the two matches on the good. You know, Team Flair versus Team Piper, the most of it, and you know, my personal favorite, the third Survivor Series match of the show. You know, Nasty Boys, the Beverly Brothers taking on the Bushwhackers and the Rockers. They were good matches. It doesn't make me want to watch Survivor Series 91 again. It's not a 4-star classics, but there were good fun matches to watch. Besides that, I'd rather skip this show actually, because there's a lot of bad matches on the show, like you know, the Sergeant Slaughter, you know, Team Sergeant Slaughter, Team Colonel Mustafa match was nothing special. You got like wrestlers were not really like, it was added to the last minute, you know, it's just whatever, you know, it's just basically you know Sergeant Slaughter and Jim Duggan USA over the heels, you know, Colonel Mustafa, he's the only foreign heel in that match. You know, most of them are from America. And the Undertaker, Hulk Hogan Undertaker match was fucking boring. Yeah, 4 out of 10. I give this Survivor Series. So, anyway, so hope you enjoyed my review of Survivor Series 1991. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Smash the like button. Click the like. Click the bell. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube for more wrestling videos and more next time. So let's go 20 years into the future. I'm not reviewing Survivor Series 2001, by the way. I'm not reviewing the whole of the Invasion storyline. I'm talking about Survivor Series 2011. That's the next classic Survivor Series pay-per-view to review. So yeah, 2011. Like I said, I'm covering the year of Punk. So, Survivor Series in 2011, it'll be in Madison Square Garden. The Rock making his first in-ring match for almost 7 years, you know, because his last match was at WrestleMania 20 in 2004. Teaming up his WrestleMania 28 opponent John Cena against Awesome Truth. Yeah, like I said, I'm reviewing Survivor Series 2011. This is the Central Man Official signing out. Check you later.